Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone in 3D this week at the movies, the movie review program.
Transmission commencing.
Now we find out if that code is worth the price we paid.
It'll work. It'll work.
Vader's on that ship.
Now, don't get jittery, Luke. There are a lot of command ships. Keep your distance, though, Chewie. But don't look like you're trying to keep your distance.
I don't know. Fly casual.
Well, you could probably guess what movie that scene is from. Yes, it's Return of the Jedi, the third Star Wars film. After all, how many movies have a Wookiee in them? And Return of the Jedi is one of 4 new films we'll be reviewing on At the Movies, the movie review program. Across the aisle from me, Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And this is Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune. In addition to the new Star Wars movie, we'll also be reviewing 3 other summer movies: Breathless with Richard Gere, La Traviata, the sumptuous new opera spectacle, and now Gene starts with Blue Thunder, a new cops and helicopters movie.
Blue Thunder is a rousing good adventure story with a brand new action hero, but it's not Roy Scheider who stars in the film. The star of Blue Thunder is a powerful new space-age helicopter packed with all sorts of surveillance equipment and firepower. Scheider plays a veteran Los Angeles cop who sees the Blue Thunder copter as something bad. Malcolm McDowell plays an old Army adversary of Scheider who sees the copter as an evil ally.
Colonel Cochran, this is Captain Braddock of the Astro Division, and Frank Murphy. Frank is going to do the actual testing over the city.
Finally made colonel, eh?
Sure, nice guy. Nice things happen to you.
I'll try to remember that.
Step this way, gentlemen, for any questions.
How did we draw him?
He was assigned to us, he and his observer. I didn't realize you two were acquainted.
Only too well, I'm afraid. I'd have had that bastard up on charges if he hadn't caught some shrapnel. No, he's totally unsuitable for our purpose.
I'll call Mr. Holmes tonight.
Don't bother him. I think we can handle it.
After words like that, it's natural that Scheider and McDowell soon are slugging it out for real over Los Angeles. Great stunt flying here. Now, there's a big moral question in this movie, and that is whether this helicopter, this Blue Thunder copter, violates people's privacy too much for a free society. The copter has computers that can hook into a national data bank containing information on everybody, but who cares about that? This movie isn't good because of its social message. Blue Thunder is a great movie to gobble popcorn by. The weaponry, the one-man-against-the-system story, all of that combines into making Blue Thunder a perfect summertime entertainment. I had a great time with this picture.
I didn't like it quite as much as you did, and I know you love the flying, and I thought the flying was pretty good too, but if you think about a Clint Eastwood picture like Firefox, I think that had better aerial dogfights than this movie does. And there's another thing, and it's our old friend plausibility. At the end of this film, when they go on the air, the television newscast, and they say, I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to say this much. They're saying, because of this tape that we have, we've reopened the investigation into the death of the city commissioner. I'm thinking, gee, that's an interesting story to leave the newscast with. How about the fact that the Air Force just shot down 2 skyscrapers? How about putting that on the air? It's a little strange.
That's a little. I think that there was. I just sat there, and it was a new. Here, you know, when Jaws came out, we thought about sharks differently. Now this is a picture that has a helicopter as its star, and it was kind of fun.
And now I think about helicopters the way I used to think about sharks.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But,
okay, and I don't think so much is wrong with the movie.
Okay, difference of opinion. Next at the movies, the year's most eagerly awaited film, Return of the Jedi.
Fighters coming in.
Our next movie is the latest installment in the most phenomenally popular serial in movie history. It's Return of the Jedi, the third chapter in the saga of Star Wars. And maybe the best way to review this film is just to simply say that producer George Lucas and his Star Wars team have done it again. This is the kind of movie we've come to expect in the Star Wars series, a combination of strong plotting, lots of action, swashbuckling melodrama, corny philosophy with apologies to followers of the Force, and also the most mind-boggling special effects in the history of the movies. Here's a scene from earlier in the film as our old android friends C-3PO and R2-D2 are approaching the fortress of the evil Jabba the Hutt to beg for Han Solo's release.
Otto, are you sure this is the right place? They'd better knock, I suppose. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Let's go back and tell Master Luke. Goodness gracious me. R2-D2. Bo, say, 3-P-O-R. Tuta, Mishka, Jabaduhat? I don't think they're going to let us in, R2. We'd better go. R2, wait! Oh dear. R2. R2, I really don't think we should rush it. Oh, R2! R2, wait for me!
Later in the film, on an alien moon, there's a great chase sequence with flying motorcycles.
Go for help, go!
Great. Come on.
Over there! Two more of them! I see them. Wait, Leia!
Hey, wait!
Quick, jam their comlink. Center switch. Move closer. Get alongside that one.
Now, of course, you might not unreasonably ask why they didn't avoid all those problems by simply flying above the treetops. But you don't ask questions like that about movies like Return of the Jedi. This movie has all of the plausibility of a Saturday afternoon serial and all of the fun, too. Here's one of the battles in outer space the Star Wars movies have become famous for. Billy D. Williams is leading an attack on Darth Vader's Death Star.
Red leader standing by.
Gray leader standing by.
Green leader standing by.
Lock S-foils in attack position.
May the Force be with us.
We've got to be able to get some kind of reading on that shield, up or down. Well, how could they be jamming us if they don't know if we're coming?
Break off the attack. The shield is still up.
I get no reading. Are you sure?
Pull up! All craft, pull up!
Take a base of action. Green group, stay across the holding sector and each other.
Admiral, we have enemy ship, Sector 47.
It's a trap.
Fighters coming in.
If you didn't know better, you'd say they went into outer space to shoot that on location. George Lucas claims that there were about twice as many different special effects in Jedi that there were in the original Star Wars movie, and that the space battles, like the one we just saw, are at least twice as complex. He says if you went back to look at Star Wars now, it would look a little bit old-fashioned. Well, I don't know, but they use computers to program those amazing flying images and make them look like the biggest video arcade game on Earth. But beneath the technical achievements, Return of the Jedi is a wonderful movie filled with a lot of new and imaginative characters. There's the reptilian and loathsome Jabba the Hutt, the cuddly little Ewoks, and the nasty little rat-like aliens who scurry around in the corners of the movie. This movie answers all of the basic questions we've been asking for the last two movies about the Star Wars characters. We finally learn the secrets of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia. And with this third movie, now the stories of those human characters come to a close, although Lucas says he eventually hopes to make 6 more Star Wars movies, and based on what he's done so far, I sure do hope that he does.
I do, too. I can't wait to see this one again, and I want the other ones to come out much quicker than one every 3 years. When I see a picture like this, I'm in sort of awe as a critic of how every level of the filmmaking, the sound, the music, the acting, the storytelling, everything is hitting at the highest level.
It's perfectionism.
This is, you know, it's hundreds of thousands of details, literally, all coming together. The sound in that the space bike thing, Ben Burt is the sound guy, John Williams is doing the music. These are all professionals out there making a fabulous contribution.
You may have put your finger on one of the reasons why these movies are so successful. Nobody before in the history of films has ever bothered to make a story this simple and universal with that many great technical credits. Usually when they make a story like this, they throw it away on a $200,000 Universal science fiction picture from the 1950s.
Yes.
But to bring the special effects and the technical credits and the imagination and the perfectionism to this story so that it really works so well on that level is probably part of the reason that we like it.
I think it is, and one other thing that hasn't been credited enough, I think, is the acting. You know, because it's a science fiction movie or a space movie, whatever, the actors are thought of as just cartoon characters. These actors are very good playing against puppets, saying cornball lines, and I think that this Mark Hamill particularly really matured in this film, and it was fun to watch his character grow up.
I think I'm going to miss Harrison Ford with that eyebrow like this when something funny happens and he kind of looks like this. We're going to miss that for a while.
They've become friends to us, all of these characters. Our next film is a remake of one of the best-known movies in recent film history. It's Breathless, starring Richard Gere, and a remake of Jean-Luc Godard's 1959 French film, Breathless, which was an important part of the French New Wave of films that rewrote the grammar of the way movies are put together. This American Breathless seems to want to wake up a tired young generation, too, with its story of a young thief on the run played by Richard Gere, who thinks he can solve all of his problems simply by taking a young French college girl for a joyride to Mexico.
Come on, let's go to Mexico.
Don't be ridiculous. I have to study.
All right, bring your books along. Feed them to the big turtles.
But I can't, Jason. I have to stay in school or my family won't send me any more money.
Need money? I want to give you money, because that's what I'm doing here. I'm picking up a big bag of money.
But you told me you had lots of enemies in L.A.
Yeah, I do. My enemies and you.
So you're in danger.
Yeah, I'm a desperado.
Desperado? What does it mean?
It means I'm desperate for you, Monica. It's like blasting along a highway going like 90, maybe 100 miles an hour. All of a sudden there's this dip in the road. You just suck your guts out. Your breath is gone. That's me around you, sugar. That's me. Breathless.
Valerie Kaprisky is the young actress. She's not very good. Her accent is annoying, especially later in the film when Gere, with cops hot on his trail, asks her for the last time to join him in Mexico.
Sunrise. In Mexico.
Yeah?
Is it hot?
It's hot. Not tamale.
Can we live in a house of grass by the sea?
Sounds good. You, me, the muchacho.
Yeah. You, me, the baby, the grass house, the sea.
This is a good-looking film, and Richard Gere is at his sexy best here, playing a cross between sort of a punk stud and a rock star. But at the center of this movie is a relationship that simply doesn't work at all. This young actress, Kaprisky, looks cute with her hair down, but that's all she has to give in front of the camera. She's a deadhead with a dead heart. There is no chemistry between them, despite their many sexual clinches, and by the end of this film, frankly, I didn't care whether either one of them, particularly her, ever made it to Mexico. I don't know why they didn't go with the original.
Why don't they re-release the... with Kinski as the actress,
Obvious
probably
choice.
Because they couldn't get her.
Well, but that would have solved the problem. They needed an actress here.
Well, the problem I find is that with the original film, Godard, 25 years ago, was already sending up this tradition of Hollywood gangster movies.
Right.
Now comes a movie 25 years later that tries to take it a little more seriously, and yet add all of this element of style in terms of the coloring and shooting through red filters and everything, which just distances us from the story to the point where we don't believe it. You're right. You remember in your bachelor days, did you ever go out with a girl and you just the chemistry wasn't there?
Many times.
You know, somebody fixed you up with her. It's a big date. You're supposed to put your arm around her. This is a bad blind date when he had his hands like this and he's against the wall, you know. In Officer and a Gentleman, the chemistry between him and Winger, it would have been electric. Here it looks like some guy has been told, you know, talk to her, and she's saying, okay, here are my lines, and they finish the lines, the scene is over.
Absolutely. It's just reading of lines. As they spoke, I thought they could have been in separate rooms.
That's right.
There was nothing between them. I don't think they liked each other as characters, and it just destroyed the whole film.
You're right. Next at the movies, Placido Domingo, in a story of love and betrayal and passion and heartbreak, La Traviata. Our next movie is La Traviata, a sumptuous and passionate film version of Verdi's opera, directed by Franco Zeffirelli, the Italian film and opera director whose Romeo and Juliet was such a big hit back in the 1960s. La Traviata stars the great and handsome tenor Placido Domingo and the great and beautiful soprano Teresa Stratus. And in this scene, Domingo, as Alfredo, believes that Stratus, as Violetta, has betrayed him. Well, actually, she's left him for noble and pure reasons, but Alfredo humiliates her at a lavish ball. I love the whole overdone spirit of that scene. Not 20 extras, but 100. Not 2 chandeliers, but put a chandelier every place you see a ceiling.
The whole Metropolitan Opera up there.
Wretched excess, but lots of fun. The singing, of course, is wonderful there, but so is the passion, and so is the whole overwrought visual style Zeffirelli brings to this movie with his rich colors, his dramatic staging, and the Baroque richness of the set decoration. This is a great movie to listen to and a great movie to watch, too. And one other thing, the movie's subtitle, of course, and you know, in the case of opera, I think that's a real advantage because it's sort of like never having to look at the plot synopsis during an important aria as you would when you go to a staged opera. At least I always do. I can never remember, is that her husband or brother, the in-laws, or who, you know. La Traviata is doing amazingly well at the American box office, and it deserves to because it's not just a visual record of an opera, but also a rich movie in its own right and a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it. It is fun, but it also was very romantic. I saw this picture. I hadn't remembered all of the intricacies of the story, and it is a much more complicated story than you get in most opera. And I was actually caught up in how it was going to end, and the people around me were crying at the end of the picture. Very effective. I'm going to quarrel with you, though, on the subtitling. This is strange, because what you say makes a lot of sense, and I would have thought I would have the same reaction. Gee, the subtitles help me. But I found that the subtitles interfered with my enjoying of the music per se. I sat there and my head would tilt down a bit to read the subtitle, and I lost... I do, you know...
But you've got to know what the story is about.
I know.
I mean, when her future father-in-law comes in and says, drop my son or my daughter will commit suicide, it's a little tricky to figure it out on the basis of the...
It's very tricky, but all I can say is that I do read, you know, the synopsis before each act when I go to the opera, and I can handle it, and it just takes a while to adjust. I wish I had your reaction.
I'll tell you, though, I think this film is going to be a breakthrough film for people who do not consider themselves to be opera fans.
Yes.
And their friends are going to say, now, I know you hate opera, but I'm going to take you to this. And when they get there, they're going to be happy to have the subtitles, I think so. Because it's a very entertaining film.
Beautifully sung, too. Coming up next at the movies, a thriller about something we're all afraid of, rats.
Here he is again after taking most of the month of May off. Aroma, the educated skunk, back with the stinker of the week, the week's worst movie. Hi, Aroma.
And his coat is a little dirty. He's been playing in the yard, his owner told me. My stinker of the week is a real smell bomb. It's Deadly Eyes, a thriller about super rats invading Toronto. And all this movie consists of is one rat attack after another. You see their little beady eyes. They keep using the same rat over and over, peeping out of a little drain pipe. And then the rats swarm all over somebody, ending with a bloody shot of the dead body. You've seen the whole movie now. That's it.
So much for the stinker. Let's take another look at the main movies on this show. We split on Blue Thunder, the helicopter action picture. We both like the action, but I have my doubts about the plot. Two big bravos, though, for Return of the Jedi. The creators of Star Wars have done it again. 2 thumbs down for Breathless, the Richard Gere movie, an exercise in style, not substance. And 2 thumbs up for La Traviata with Placido Domingo and a sumptuous extravaganza for opera fans.
Next week, we're back to reviewing 4 new movies, including a review of the story of a young video game player who comes close to starting World War III. Join us next week, and until then, we'll see you at the movies.
Promotional considerations paid for by Ward Johnston, Johnson Wax, and Super Pop Popcorn. Hooray for Raisinets. Now you can enjoy one of the all-time favorite movie candies at home. Goobers and Snow Caps, too. Hooray for Raisinets. Glade Aerosol, the air freshener that instantly makes your home fresh. One spray and you'll know the difference Glade made. Super Pop Popcorn, a tender, delicious, nutritious snack at an economical price. Super Pop Popcorn, it's the one snack you can't eat alone. Super Pop.